Oh, hello there. Hello. Just a quick update. I've been uh, 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 setting up recording stuff and actually recording for the last like 5 days or so, doing a bunch of different stuff, changing cameras around, changing microphones around, just modifying a whole bunch of stuff about the setup and the recording process. Looks like things are going to get delayed a bit. Mostly because I don't have the money to actually publish the album. That won't be until I start getting paid from school in a month or so. Just don't feel the need to rush too quickly or push anything out. If I don't feel it's 100% finished yet, well, it's never going to be 100% finished, but just a bunch of other stuff came up over summer, especially related to music and art. My direction went from like going into audio mixing and like becoming a hermit and finalizing the album and just constantly working on it to more social things with music. Been I don't know, maybe seen like 10 or so live performances over the course of the summer, a weekly thing in town. I've been attending the songwriters thing in town and working on and finishing songs. Like all the songs for the album got finished over the summer. I'll play one for you in a minute. And then a live performance last week, like the week before, the Saturday before, the week before school starts. So that, and then also, like, I've gotten an offer to record a few songs in an actual recording studio that somebody's setting up. So I've been contemplating how to, like, what songs to play and probably end up going with some more acoustic baritone ukulele kind of stuff. Maybe even working with another person or two, like my on my or their songs and like getting a 2 or 3 song like EP or just like a sample of stuff ready. And other social opportunities with music. I jammed for the first time. Jamming is just musicians kind of just like hanging out and playing a little bit and working on stuff together. I did that like 3 times for the first time in my life. Difficult. It's difficult to. It's basically like learning how to talk and speak in a new language. But it was very helpful, very useful. Read a couple of books by Victor Wooten I've talked about before. The Music Lesson is his first book, like 10 years or so ago. Goes into a bunch of stuff about music, but not like a bunch of technical things, more just philosophical things, like how to get into the moment, how to get into the groove, how to work with other people, how to understand more than just like music theory and stuff, but like performances and everything. So it's pretty good in that regard. And then his second book, The Spirit of Music, kind of a sequel to it. Much more of a narrative thing. Follows people from around the world who've been through stuff and use music to kind of come together and spread their creativity and find happiness in the world from all over. And a few lesson things about playing in public, playing with others, relaxing, being in the moment, all that stuff. Very useful stuff. I don't really like getting into the technical aspects of music and music theory and stuff. Just, rather do it myself. But a very, very great top-down kind of stuff. Just a bunch of interesting, useful advice and whatnot. That was somewhat of an inspiration for the Vermilion Waves Part Blue song I'm about to play. the sequel to the old Vermilion Waves song from the first album. What else? A lot of other musical experiences. Playing live really went well. Played Daydream HD and this new Vermilion Waves song for random people in town. 30 or so people, plus the songwriters and their families and stuff. Yeah, like I said, went well. Getting that energy of a live performance has been sort of my motivation while recording, which has been a big reason I can't be happy with what I'm doing in this apartment yet. I feel like I need to do a bunch more learning of audio mixing and testing stuff out and like adjusting the recording setup and probably doing a few weeks worth of like singing songs to try to get like a really good recording for each of them and make them all sound right. I've found over the last few days that caffeine doesn't really help me. It just makes me anxious and gets my head on other things. Alcohol helps me a tiny bit if I have the right amount. It loosens up the limbs a little bit. I learned that from a couple players in town music players in town who regularly like have a ritual of carrying a little like bottle of bourbon around with them or some kind of alcohol and keeping their bodies loose and stuff while they perform. I tried that. It just kind of made me tired. But a little bit of it, like continuously, does help limber up a bit. Not as much as just like psychologically being prepared and getting out of your own mind though. Definitely the biggest challenge of recording and actually making it sound good at home is actually making it sound good at home and not like, I don't know, like you miss one or two notes and it becomes too obvious. You miss one or two little vocal things and it becomes too obvious. So like one word and that's it. You got to restart the whole thing and that's 4 minutes or whatever. When I'm just playing at home, it doesn't matter too much. When I'm performing, it doesn't matter because my mind's entirely on performing. It's just this camera thing still and recording myself. Gotten mostly used to it from teaching and forcing myself in front of cameras constantly and this journal thing. I can mostly just stand in front of a camera and say whatever I need to without any preparation like I'm doing right now. Which translates well 90% of the time to playing, but even if 10% of the time, like in the middle of a song, I'm like, oh hey, I'm doing really well. And I'm thinking about that for 3 or 4 seconds. Oh, well, I just messed up a couple lyrics. Even if I got the words right, they don't sound like they have any emotion in them or something. And, well, that's the permanent version of my song, because that's the finalized, recorded version. And, staying for 2 to 6 minutes with your mind completely on a song, giving it 100% is pretty difficult. I've recorded acceptable versions of all 12 songs on the album. That could work. They're definitely better than the Vermilion Waves album in terms of how they sound and the quality of recording and everything, and my voice and the guitar and everything, but yeah, I just keep getting more ideas for making things better and whatnot. If I wasn't so distracted with all the in-person and social music stuff over the summer, definitely would have got done probably a lot sooner. And I would have had a lot of extra money from all the money I spent on like beverages and tickets and things from performances. But well worth it. I learned a lot of stuff that I'm going to be carrying over into the third album. Going to focus a lot more on the social aspects of music that Victor Wooten's books got into and I've been getting into more and more, and it just seems like a bunch of the next logical steps involve me doing open mic nights or little performances of diegetic music in bars or small paid performances, like $50 or something for a night. collaborating and meeting with people and kind of working with bands and other instruments, learning about the mixing process and using like samples and multi-track recording of like recording things at different times and piecing them together. I may start doing that, or I may stick more with my one recording and done kind of technique. I do prefer that. It's more natural. So a lot of directions to go, a lot of stuff to do. I have a million ideas for how I'm going to do the third album in terms of approaches and recordings and keeping track of everything better and organize everything better and preparing the album a lot more in advance and having things kind of fall into place along with it. Second album went 500 times better than the first album in terms of preparedness and skill and everything. And I anticipate the third album going in the same direction. Or a fourth, I guess, if I do some like small stuff with other people and whatnot and publish that, but might be under a different name. So things have changed. In summary, good. If things went exactly how I expect them to go from the beginning of the summer, how much of a boring fucking life that would be, huh? Or if they went exactly the way I expect them to go from the beginning of these journals. And if I'd actually done this on a weekly basis and yada 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 and not allowed the spontaneity of life to insert itself into the art. It's added a lot to it. Anyway, that's enough of an update for now. Vermilion Waves Part Blue. I did design a whole another cigarette case. I don't really feel like making a PowerPoint or whatever. Oh, there's my TV and phonology heads and stuff. That's very reflective. Very reflective. But anyway, just like with the red one, printed it out. Here we go. It is a standard issue size cigarette carton. Oh, there's a cigarette in it too. It can fit 20. I got this cigarette from a student of mine, former student from like 8 years ago or something, who was at the concert. Songwriter himself. My plan is to get 20 cigarettes from people around town and fill this little box with them. Sort of like the opposite of cigarettes. Yeah, the gist is normal cigarettes, the red version, sort of. Yeah, and then the red version's like normal cigarettes. Gives you energy towards like focused things. Makes you more like hyper towards your individual tasks or whatever. And the blue version more gives you energy, but outwards towards other people. Good enough of an explanation for now. Don't care. Here's Vermilion Waves Part Blue. It's inspired by the band Styx. My favorite pre-birth band from like the 70s, I think. So I like the river Styx and some Greek mythology stuff, as well as a little bit of an inspiration from the vocals of Styx, the band. At least that's how it started a bit. Didn't really try to make it sound like it too much, just lightly inspired to learn a bit, expand the range. Anyway, Vermilion Waves, Part Blue. Let's plan a big escape to a place that's far away. I think this might be hell. Responsibilities seem to build up every day, as far as I can tell. The rivers all connect to the never-ending sea. The waters fill your head with anachronistic dreams. But before you start to wander back and forth to those better days, I recommend you close your eyes and tune into those smooth vermilion waves. Pour your soul out into those vermilion waves. You're 18 and your choices are clearly regarded as afterthoughts. You're 30 and you're drowning in tears for a world that would chew you up. You're 60 and you're living in fear of the changes you knew would come. You're 90 and you're counting the years in reverse, 'cause the church bell's rung. But when your mind starts to wander back and forth to those better days, I recommend you count to 10 and drift away into those smooth vermilion waves. Dip your loved ones into those vermilion waves. Lungs stop responding to the breath in your airways, I recommend the oxygen that's filtered through infinite blue vermilion waves. Oof. I've been playing all day. Ooh, my hands hurt so much. Oh, if you can't tell, I'm a bit fed up with playing. Anything else I want to talk about before the album? The recording setup is mostly here set up. I have the Phrenology head directly in front of me with the binaural microphones in its ears. They're not on right now. Just this one is on. So I'm going to be playing here. That'll capture me and the guitar. Mostly my voice, though. My voice is going to get carried through mostly with the microphone. And then the guitar will be hooked up to a guitar cord to like directly capture that. And then I have the binaural microphones to add some stereo nonsense and mixing stuff going on in the software. and those are the 4 microphones, 2, 1 on each ear from the phonology head, this thing, and the contact mic hooked up to the guitar. Probably mostly go with the acoustic, and baritone ukulele for at least a couple songs. Gotta make sure it sounds equivalent in volume and stuff, but just sounds different in character to the guitar in the final mix. And I'll just kind of be leaving this up and slowly recording and just doing, I don't know, maybe a song or 2 every day, kind of updating them, testing them out, doing mixing stuff. We'll see what happens. That's the momentary plan. Any plan I have with art is only momentary and made up on the spot. It's all just inspiration and whim. I've decided with art versus product, that whole thing, that any progress I make and direction I take with music will be entirely inspiration and spontaneous, spur of the moment, whatnot. I'm not going to seek anything out. I'm not going to create any songs that actually have any purpose of doing anything outside of being interesting and exploratory and informative to me. And same with videos and albums and songs and etc. Just pretty much everything. Yeah, just like if I insert any amount of like changing a couple words because I'm worried about how other people might perceive it or something, it starts becoming about something else. Or doing something in a different order at a different time frame because of money or because of anything else outside of me, just makes it something less than art in my mind. So, most likely I'll be publishing this album not too long after I get my next paycheck next month. We'll see. I did quite a lot of other stuff over the summer. Definitely not as an excuse for like not finishing things. Like I did successfully keep up my habits for the most part, to an acceptable level at least. I'm healthy and happy, and I've kind of learned to be chiller and calmer on a moment-to-moment basis. Just kind of not feeling as much of a necessity to bite fingernails and twitch around and do multiple things at once and stuff. That was a big thing. Like, I was spending too much time with like YouTube videos and stuff in the background that I wasn't really paying attention to, or like shows in the background I wasn't really paying attention to, while I just waste my time all day browsing, Reddit or just screw around, like messing around on a guitar, playing songs I already know, and just with no direction or anything, and yada yada yada. So I've been working on being a little bit more directed, focused, calmer. That's all been going well. Partly due to the music stuff I've been doing, and partly just other books, other things I've been studying, watching, reading, working on. So I have no regrets and lots of accomplishments and successes over the summer. I expect the album at some point. This is probably going to be the last one of these journal videos, just kind of updating you. I do want to make, I don't know if I'll make actual music videos for each individual video. Maybe something simple like this album cover with just like the lyrics and some simple sine wave stuff or whatever, like it's kind of expected on YouTube. I didn't really delve as much into 3D stuff as I wanted to with all the other things that popped up. But no big issue, no big deal. That's always been sort of a tertiary thing with art. I mean, I like designing products, and I designed like the shirt and the cigarette pack and various other things over the summer, but again, inspiration. And if I don't feel inspired when the album is coming up to create some specific thing, basic is fine. I've even been thinking about simplifying the whole recording setup and everything and just making it kind of like really bare bones and acoustic. I'm just more going towards that direction with my music right nowadays, at least, even though a lot of the songs were written on electric guitar and are very electric in nature. On Brand is going to be electric, most likely still, but everything else I think adapts well to acoustic. I may need to get different strings on it if I'm going to be doing that. May need to do a little bit more recording testing stuff, but we'll see. Probably keep the camera off for the actual recordings. I don't want OBS and video recordings and stuff running while the audio recordings are running, because it might cause some stutters and stuff. Other than that, the album's pretty much finished. All the songs are finished. Like I said, 12. I got the order of them laid out in a kind of a narrative progression from sort of beginning to end. Or like plans to make them all a little bit distinct and unique. Yeah. Anything else? I may make a video sort of like this, like when I release the album, like a review video for my own album or something. Go over all the songs and how I made them a little bit, and basics. Yeah. Just give a little hour and a half, 2 hour long like documentary along with all the songs. Yeah. Any other ideas? Any other stuff coming up? I don't know. School's tomorrow. We're mostly preparing that now. With guitar and recording stuff mixed in as like a little side thing from time to time. I think I mentioned I might have played a little bit of like Happy Birthday or something in one of the last videos, but I've been heavily working on just knowing, kind of learning by ear, individual strings and stuff, and learning to like copy songs that are on the TV and whatnot. Like I'll play along with some song that's on the TV and to try to match the notes of it. Get my fingers sort of used to, and my hand used to the sounds of it. Or try to add like an accompanying melody or something to songs that are playing on the TV. Been doing that for a month or so, just a little bit off and on, and I could slowly kind of feel myself being able to do it, like I could think of a melody and then, okay, these are the places I need to place my fingers, like before I even do it. It's all just like talking, and Victor Wooten's books get into that. So I've been really forcing myself to just force myself to do stuff like that, throw myself at it until I can understand it a bit better with my mind. That's my method of learning. Just yeah, don't use any sort of strategy or routine or guidelines. Just yeah, my general approach is to learn how to talk with a guitar. Let's do it for the next album. So hopefully we'll have some more complicated stuff, complicated rhythms and riffs and stuff. Already been kind of modifying some old songs with more complex chord changes and melodies and stuff to add complexity and make them more musical. It's all coming together. It's coming together. Even though I'm not actively learning anything, I am growing as a musician a lot just by throwing myself into it a lot. So that's it for these journals for the second album. Enjoy it when it comes out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to somebody else. Like make your own stuff while you watching me still. Have a good life.